I was about 17 or 18 when I started to, question God's existence, right? I grew up in the Catholic faith, so it's always been a part of my life, but never really went deep into it. I just kind of went because my family asked me to go with him. I was just being a good son. It was during COVID, so a lot of alone time. I was kind of separated from that community, separated from my sport. So kind of the things that I had my identity in was kind of just removed from my life for that time being. One night, right, I was just desperate for truth. I was desperate. This huge buildup to know if God was real and where I would be if I were to die, and my right standing with God. I said, Jesus, if you're the truth, show me. And I just felt this hand go in my chest, and it felt as if my spirit got pulled out of my body. That was the real moment of when my life began to change. So my identity was still in my sport, right? Specifically football. My friends, my popularity, and girls that I attracted and had talked to. I smoked a lot of marijuana. I drank a lot of alcohol in high school. So I was still smoking after that encounter. About 2 weeks later, I started to get this conviction inside, right? So I asked Jesus, I said, Jesus, can you take this addiction away from me? And the next day, I literally was delivered fully. I never smoked again in my life after that night. I give glory to God and I thank him for doing that. I had to be healed from a lot of things. I never felt like I lived up fully to my father's expectations, right? I was always chasing my father's approval. That bled into my relationship with God, the Father. And now today, I serve God with the right heart. I serve God out of thankfulness and gratitude, rather than out of obligation, rather than earning for his approval, earning for his acceptance. I believe fully now that his blood cleanses me fully, 1000%, that I'm fully righteous, I'm fully holy, I'm fully blameless and perfect, by the blood of the Lamb. Jesus' blood redeems and restores. He is the resurrection and the life.